be very clear, public test build for Playground should be next week, Tuesday on the 24th. Timing, normally in the morning, but like still TBD. That is when the Playgrounds PTB will be live. Normal release date for Playgrounds, still TBD. We're aiming for 2 to 3 weeks though of PTB.
So we get the feedback and reports and things and try to get it.
So you heard the team, that's Jesse, the lead QA for Grounded 2, announcing that Playgrounds, yes indeed, is coming out next week on the 24th. It will include all of the stuff that you see in Grounded 1's Playground. Apparently it's going to have parity, so you will be able to create your own custom maps using bosses and anything you found in Grounded 1 in Grounded 2. There are a couple little caveats though that we need to talk about and expectations, so I'm going to give you news. Hello Ratbags, it's Jade, let's go. If you caught some of my streams recently, I have been showing off a beta version, effectively, of Playgrounds, using a mod to access what's already in the game files. And Playgrounds mode is, pretty much all there, everything you expect to see from Grounded 1. On top of that, it does look like we're going to have the resources from Grounded 2. Things like Milk Thistle and some of the newer items will be in the game. And of course, armors and weapons and trinkets from Grounded 2, you'll be able to mix them up with the ones that you get from Grounded 1. Literally everything from Grounded 1 is what they just said. What won't be in Playgrounds mode initially when it launches is a lot of the props by the looks of things. Unless they're adding it in as the last minute, it does sound like we're still going to have to wait a bit for a lot of the props from Grounded 2 to be added. So things like this candy apple, all the new foliage, all the new other parts, all the base stuff, everything you can actually build, craft and make in Grounded 2 will be there. Like I said, some resources, things like limes and other stuff. But when you take a look at the props and the foliage, it is literally all just Grounded 1. There's no Grounded 2 stuff here. It does look like there won't be a story mode, and it kind of makes sense as well. As you might know, if you've played Grounded 1 towards the end of its time with Playgrounds, one of the last updates it received was allowing you to make a custom Grounded proper game story mode. You'd be able to play the full game just like normal, with all the science lab stories open, the full quest, the full story, but you could add more stuff to it. And that was always such a cool idea, but by the time they added that, it was too late. A lot of people had moved on from Grounded. And until that point, we only had sandboxes, or you could play in the backyard with everything already laid out, but it would be quite hard to organise going into the labs and piecing together the story. And since Grounded 2 hasn't even finished the story, we're only about 30% of the way there, it makes sense they don't necessarily want to mess with that too much. So it's only going to be sandboxes. What we do know from a lot of leaks and some of the previews they've shown off is there's going to be 2 sandboxes. One for, obviously, the Park Brook Hollow, but also one for the original Grounded sandbox map. Shout out to Cook Shrimp as well, also giving some more info about what will be in the Playgrounds mode. If maybe not directly at launch, but definitely coming soon. Customizable options for your Omni Axe, your Omni Hammer and tools. So it does look like you will be able to go ahead and set what kind of level you need to be to actually get some of these tools. So if you want to make a quest where you have to get better upgraded axes, well, you'll just get better upgraded Omni axes like normal, but maybe not needing bug parts. You might be able to just find it because you'll be able to change the level of it. And lots of customization for weapons. So you literally be able to change weapon types. So obviously how much durability it's got, whether or not poison can be triggered by it, or smashing, attacking, blocking, dodging. Looks like smashing is a placeholder. So good shout out to Cook Shrimp, who also found lots of spawn points. It does look like you'll be able to set specific spawn points, or these be baked into the Playgrounds game mode. So you might not have to mess around with teleportals as much, or simply will just be a case of where you might spawn if you die in that certain part of the park. But these are literally referenced as the park spawn points. So you'd be able to create, like, I guess, a harder start to Grounded 2 maybe, making us start in much more difficult places. Or like I said, it simply is just to make life a bit easier if you do want to make a custom map in a certain part of the park and have players spawn there instead. And a few other smaller things. I'm probably going to do a deeper dive into this video next week, again, about what to expect. But things like cobwebs, there's going to be specific new ones that you'll be able to place. And on top of all that, they're going to have an improved voting system. So it might not just be a case of liking or disliking. Maybe it's going to be stars at 1 out of 5. At the moment, the mod that allows access to what's already in the game files messing around with Playgrounds mode doesn't actually show that, I do believe. But you can actually get maps ready. So I might even start working on only down 2. Just a bit of a shame it's going to be literally all Grounded 1 assets. But you never know. They might go ahead and add a bunch for Grounded 2 straight away. But yeah, they did say explicitly it would be on parity. So it is just what they said before Christmas, that when Playgrounds arrives, it's pretty much just going to be the very basic start. As they progress through early access, they're going to add a lot more and stuff that you would expect to see from Grounded 2. So I'm pretty stoked. Like, to make a custom map even with some Grounded 1 bosses scattered around, I think that's pretty good. And with all the other options, the build options from Grounded 2, armor sets and more, definitely going to be a lot more variety if even we have to wait a bit longer for specific Grounded 2 stuff. So yes, the PTB is going to be live for 2 to 3 weeks, so it probably won't come out until at least middle, maybe even the end of March. So if you do want to play Playgrounds next week on the 24th, you have to download the Xbox Insider Hub on Xbox or choose the actual public test branch on Steam. I've covered that so many times, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick of showing it because I've done it in so many videos. Just look up them 2 things and you'll be able to find out how to activate it. Your saves will generally be okay, but as we saw from the last public test, a lot of people that took part ended up losing progress with their main saves, or it took weeks and weeks to actually fix. Now this is mostly going to be a Playgrounds update. There's no other content coming other than making sure Steam Deck and ROG Ally is getting a bit better supported. But yeah, you still might want to check on that just in case. But yeah, hopefully it is just Playgrounds, and that means you should be okay this time and it should save over. That said, one thing I didn't catch was whether or not actually the PTB maps would carry over to the full update. I'm pretty sure they didn't last time when we got a chance to test all of this stuff. I'll find out more info about that as best I can. Like I said, look out for another video detailing, showcasing all the stuff for Playgrounds mode that will be there at launch on the 24th. I was streaming and having a lot of fun making like a battle arena to test out fighting buggies. Even went and made on my survival world, which I converted into a Playgrounds world, a little science hub with telepotties as well. So that's going to be one of the first things I think I'm going to make. I'm going to add telepotties to every single one of the science ranger stations so that you'll be able to teleport across the map in terms of where they should be going and stuff, offering better, basically, shortcuts. Like I said, you won't be able to do the story in Playgrounds mode at the moment, but it's still a good thing to have, being able to fast travel across the map and stuff. Are you hyped and excited? Is it going to be the first time you really spend some time in Playgrounds, since so many didn't really bother, since it did come out way after 1.0's launch? Look out for more streams from me messing around and building the best base with all of the Playground editions soon. And yeah, I will do a video on showing how to access this mod as well very soon. Until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you for more Grounded 2 news. Bye bye.